All right. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing amazing. I know I am. Um, okay. So, first of all, I've been making the titles of the videos all wrong for a very long time. I've been making motion designer does and it's supposed to be illustration, but it says motion designer does motion. And that was because I changed it to motion back when I started doing the School of Motion Scholarship. So I changed it to motion and then I didn't change it back to illustration. So I kept doing that. It kept being like motion designer does motion for, let's see, 4. Oh my god. This is 4, 8, 12, 16. Wow, for 20 days, basically. So I think I'm gonna need to go back and change them. So, okay, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Chad. I'm a motion designer, and I'm doing illustration, not motion, every day. I mean, for now, just to prove to people that it ain't that hard. One thing I need to talk about and actually, do before we start drawing, because it's far more important than anything, really. It's far more important than my career, than me drawing every day, than me. It is far more important than that, and that is standing and having a principle, really, and being and simply just being a human. Um, I didn't do that before for some reason, which I might know, which I might not. Maybe it's because I'm scared. Maybe I just don't want to show people. Maybe show people who I really am. Maybe I'm just like I said, scared to show myself. But if you believe in something enough, you will do it nonetheless. Like you won't care about what people are going to think. And yeah, so what I'm getting to is the Palestinian cause. It just like wallahi, I really have no words. Today is a Eid, and we get to have our sacrifice and to eat the meat and to celebrate and everything, whereas the people in there, they have nothing. They have nothing. They can't even. They struggle to find water, and it's just like what are we doing, right? So I'm going to try. I mean, I know what I'm doing is like very like simple stuff, right? But at least click here to try. At least I'm just going to try to do something, and hopefully someday, hopefully if I'm lucky enough, I get to do something bigger. So what I'm going to do today is I'm gonna I'm gonna change the book that I have in here. I'm gonna change it to a YouTube video about the Palestinian cause, to recommend people to watch. So I'm just gonna get this back to Photoshop real quick so I can get the video and get its capture. We no Australian doctor. Australian doctor Gaza. It really sucks. Like it's really like if you watch this, it's gut wrenching, and you know, for the longest time, maybe I just pretended that I didn't know, or I didn't like it didn't matter to me, but that's wrong. That's wrong. So I'm gonna change that to upload, browse. Okay, that's interesting. What is this? Books? this. Alpha in linear space. What the fuck is that? I don't know, but I don't care. Watch. Or please watch. Okay. Alright, it's at the top there. Yeah, just watch that. Let me check if that's actually visible, if the video is visible. Oh, I got another subscriber. Nice. Oh, I got another subscriber. Nice. Alright, I don't know if that's like actually visible. Sure. Alright. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to try like to do like my best, like one small thing every day. And yeah, hopefully like I get to help in whatever way possible. Alright. So let us talk about drawing. Okay? Failure is just practice for success. That's facts. So let me close this. Let me get back to our hand drawing. And okay, one thing I feel like I'm fucking up a lot is proportions, which is very interesting because, you know, proportions are fucky. Before I get into drawing hands, actually, I want to be able to draw like a plane, take a plane, and, you know, we can. So basically, what I'm trying to do here is, we also said I'm gonna watch a video a day keeps Joe Mama away. Brent Evanston video. So before I get that, I just have to explain something real quick. So for example, when the hand is like this, it's easy. You can like draw like this part, like this. So you have like a wrist, for example. Come on now. You have the wrist, right? This is the wrist, right? And this is the hand, right? And then we have the triangle, finger, and then you have these, and then this one goes like here, and this one is here. There. This is the longest. This is like this. And this one is just doing its own thing. Right, so that feels fine. Right, that feels fine. But only because like the position of the hand is just so easy. Like this is just a hand like that's just straight up stretched, which is not very difficult to draw. But that doesn't mean we don't celebrate it. So very proud of myself for that. Like another thing, maybe some other detail we can add is we can have this, and this one going here like here, and this one going like here. Alright. What was I trying to get to? Yeah, so this plane, right? Do it on another layer. This plane, it could be like that, very easy, stretched, like facing us, but it could also be like this. So maybe, so let's say it's actually like a rectangle, which is not, but maybe it's something like this. Maybe it's there, going that direction, right? So what I'm trying to get to, maybe it's like this, you know, and it's going that way. And so this one in my hand right here could be like this, and then so we have this like here, right? And this way we have a rectangle. We have that, and then we have those fingers. Oh, wait a minute. This will be like this. You know, that got blocky like very fast. And that got like also it got straight very fast. You know. They're also moving away, so maybe they're kept the same length, sort of. This sucks. Alright, so I want to be able to draw that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a software that, because if you remember in the video that we watched yesterday, there was like in the video he used a software, 3D software, that allowed them to take a plane So for example, this is a plane that he's using to draw. That's his drawing. Like this is your regular plane, right? This is a plane. But then he moved it, so he deformed it, and so it became something like this. And so it's something like this, and then it's got like a bump in here, right? And then we've got this, and then the bump sort of like follows here. That's great. And then sort of like you help with a center line, and there you have it, right? And then he moved it so we're looking at it from above. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to draw that, but let's just try. So let's just imagine this from above, right? Now how that's going to be is a little difficult to envision, so alright. No, I think I've done it. Right? So, and this is like a shadow part. Basically, this is not an up part, because you can look at it both ways. But anyways, so he's done that, and I want to be able to do that and just get sort of like everything going. So before I start, I'm going to, oh, we're 17 minutes in, we're good.
Hey everyone, I've got a clip here from the animated movie. Hey everyone,
Klaus.
I've got a clip here from the animated movie Klaus. When I push play, watch the hands specifically, okay? Do we not? So I've got a few concise chapters here that will help demystify hands. We'll begin with some 3D rough-ins. Here in this 3D program, I have a flat plane. Let's do a quick drawing here. Most of you should be able to draw this no problem. Just a rectangle with a bit of perspective.
Okay.
All right, I'll tweak that 3D form here a bit.
Now that's interesting. I want to look into the comments and see if I can actually find a comment talking about what software he's using. So get more good for 2D and 3D animation, painting, illustration, stop motion, sculpting, and more. Alright. This is Patreon? It is Patreon. Okay, this scene should be work if I remember well. Or maybe you can make this quality content. This is about her best tutorial. Like this content creator, no fancy intro. Yeah. Series of cylinders. Then you read about the hand poses. This makes me smile. Say so much. Aside from the eyes. Showing all the difference. This video is light bulb switching. Not that hard. My hand, no. The puzzles had facial expressions. Thank you. Just don't know about the Butchie. Oh, Marco. Outstanding lesson. So I stopped this video at 30 seconds in because as a 47-year-old aspiring illustrator, I got as excited as a little girl. When he's talking about classes, okay, I don't care. Please, anybody ask about the fucking software they're using? Oh, this is gonna be blown at 19 minutes, but I gotta hand it to you. No pun intended. You've got the tight grip on making self tutorials. Okay, I don't, bro. This tutorial. This is amazing. This video. Any video with a nod to Klaus, the film's animated, is the first. My kind of video. What? What the fuck? Dude, I swear, like, more than 50% of the comment section is just glazing. Like, glazing without, like, any... Like, they're going like, oh, your tutorial's so great. Like, I can get behind that. I can appreciate that. It's just that... Are you getting value from the video? Right? Okay, what is... Bro. Can I look into... Can I, like, search? Can I not do it on 3D Paint? Actually, this is interesting. No, sure. Nope. 2D forms? Give me this. Alright, sure. Let's make it gray. And no fill. Okay. So now how do I rotate? How do I rotate it? Stickers, 3D. Okay. Oh, I'm orbiting. Alright. So Alt and this. Okay. Alright, zooming in. Sure. And then zooming in and out. Alright. So this plane, can I grab it? I don't seem to be able to grab it. Select. Hello? Okay, sure. Hello? I can't grab it. What the fuck? It's just... Dude. Okay. I'm showing... Okay. Let me show y'all what I'm doing, actually. .3D Paint. Is it not showing? Why not? Dude, I stopped the music. What the fuck? It's not showing the fucking software. This is cringe. Fine, I'll do it by myself. Doesn't matter. I'm just trying to figure it out yet. I'm not affichage. Oh, oh. Right, so let me grab the fucking thing. God damn. Sure. I can't grab it. What the fuck? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. So you just grab these two. Alright. Transform into a sticker. Sélection magique. Okay. Sure. move into 3D. Okay. Rotate. Rotate. You know, that's fun and all. But I want to be able to deform this. Am I able to or not? Okay, I don't think I'm able to. Don't save. Okay. I mean, I can comment, it's just that it's going to take like a year to get. Actually, matter of fact, let's just comment right now. Hello. Great tutorial. What software did you use? What 3D software did you use to get the plane reference? Much love. I mean, I have Cinema 4D, but I don't want to start Cinema 4D just to get something. I don't know how to use it, by the way. I don't know how to use Cinema 4D. And actually, the startup on Cinema 4D is way easier than the startup on like any of the Adobe software. It's crazy. It's kind of weird. Alright. Let's see what we got. Getting started with Cinema 4D. Alright, what I want to do is just get a simple plane. Like I'm not even trying to, okay. So this is, how do I fill it? I don't know how to fill it. I don't know how to rotate it. Oh, well, this looks like Cinema 4D, doesn't it? Cube, rectangle, circle, so basic, name rectangle, layer, object. Got its width, its height, rounding, shore, plane, coordinates. Alright, this is clearly gonna waste our time. And I haven't done a single drawing. So, okay, what he wanted to get...
And let's try and draw this. I have to make sure that hump is looking right, and I'll use some of those grid lines to draw over the form and help me understand the perspective here. From there, I can be more sure of myself. Alright, good. I'll tweak the 3D camera view and try drawing the same form from this angle. The added difficulty here is that we can now see the top side and bottom side of the form. But just like before, the grid lines will help me understand the 3D structure, also shading in anything underneath to further clarify that. It's good practice to try and see through the form and make sure your lines are tracking and connecting properly. Sometimes you'll want to draw those invisible lines, which I'll do here as the form is getting more complex now. So some of these lines are not actually visible to me, but they help me track form in 3D space. I'm also drawing grid lines that are invisible. Again, this is all helpful in feeling out that 3D space. Alright, let's do one more here. Tweak the 3D model, and in this drawing I'm doing the same thing, tracking what's behind, getting those grid lines in, shading what's underneath, and it's looking good. I put together a little page of these for you to study from. Go ahead and pause the video if you like. But back to this drawing here reminds me of a hand already. This page of these for you.
Alright, sure. I'm gonna copy this actually. let's just try to do them. So for this one, like the quality is not so great, but I can get like what's happening. Right? That's one thing, and then very interesting. Like all of this is very interesting. And then you have there. 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 Sun. Close. We have this. And then we have this. And then we have this. There you go. You see how I'm struggling to draw this? This is important. I feel like this is very important. Because without this, I wouldn't be able to draw simple things. Let's get back to it. There. And drawing the lines behind is actually a very good exercise as well. The center line in this one is pretty fucked up. I don't even know where it actually is. So I'm just gonna say something like this. Alright, another one. I like this one. I like how when they're like symmetric, that's like fun, right? And this straight up just looks like a face. Here we go. There we go. We're just gonna draw like another one, and that will be it. And then we can watch the Brent Evanston video. Hmm. That's interesting. This is very fun, actually. Okay. Let's hop on the Brent Evanston video and try to get some value from this, baby. Now let's stop the music. Let's hop on the stupid man. Here and here we go. Now let's go. 10 minutes orientation. What is gesture drawing? Let's go. Axes, lines. Come on, baby, come on. Key concepts before you begin. Alright.
Most people are familiar with the dramatic figurative works of old masters like Rubens and Rembrandt. What many people don't realize is that before these masterpieces were painted, these artists often relied on quick, expressive sketches that simplified the poses of their figures and distilled them down into their most essential attributes. It was through these seemingly simple sketches that these master artists were able to understand exactly what made a pose dramatic, expressive, and beautiful. These kinds of drawings are known as gestures. To get a better sense of what gesture drawing is and how it works, let's take a look at some lithographs by Daumier, a French caricaturist from the 1800s and a master of expressive figure drawing. The people in Daumier's drawings seem to come alive. The dramatic poses combined with the expressive line work create the illusion of motion and life. His drawings don't lie flat and lifeless on the page. They seem to vibrate with energy. One of the things Daumier did to prepare for his more finished pieces of art was to make quick gestural and compositional studies of the figures in his drawings. These quick gestural studies distill these dynamic figures down to their most essential components. These deceptively simple drawings are a testament to how much dynamism and energy can be communicated using very few lines and marks. Daumier truly understood how to draw the figure with drama and dynamism, which are at the core of gesture drawing and what you're going to learn to do in this course. Now let's take a look at a more contemporary approach to gesture drawing by viewing some of my own drawings. I've tried to synthesize traditional methods of gesture drawing with more contemporary practices. This combination of tradition with cutting-edge tools and techniques will be useful to all kinds of artists, including animators, digital artists, as well as fine artists. Gesture drawing is one of the most important but least understood parts of the figure drawing process. Simply put, a gesture drawing captures the action and dynamism of a pose. There is no one right way to do a gesture drawing. Almost every artist approaches them differently, but there are some things that most master gesture drawings have in common. Most gesture drawings are done quickly, from poses that are often under 5 minutes, and occasionally are as short as 10 seconds.
Wow.
When doing a gesture drawing, the artist tries to simplify both the action of the pose and the forms of the body. Instead of focusing on details, gesture drawings focus on the directions the forms of the body are traveling and the relationships between them. Because a gesture drawing is an attempt to capture the movement or action of a pose, they are often exaggerated for dramatic effect. A successful gesture drawing should be expressive and dynamic, but also simple, with a focus on what essential components make the pose what it is. Good gesture drawings find a sense of rhythm or flow created in the relationships between the different parts of the body. Some gesture drawings do include detailed anatomy and appear almost as finished works of art, while others distill the essence of the pose by using as few strokes as possible. While many gesture drawings stand alone as beautiful works of art in and of themselves, gesture drawing also plays a critical role in laying a foundation for more finished and rendered drawings. By the end of this course, you'll have the knowledge and skills necessary to produce beautiful and expressive gesture drawings that stand alone as works of art, as well as use gesture drawing in more finished works to make sure they have a sense of vitality and energy. Before you start your lessons and get to drawing, there are a few key concepts you need to understand.
Okay.
In this series, you'll see me using a reddish colored pencil that has simply been sharpened with an electric pencil sharpener. Much of the gesture drawing you'll see me do, particularly at the beginning of the gesture process, will be done using the broad side of the pencil lead. In order to engage the side of the pencil lead, you'll see me using the overhand grip to hold the pencil. Although I'm not requiring you to use any particular pencil grip, I would highly recommend that you use the overhand grip, shown here, because it allows you to easily engage the side of the pencil lead and to make soft, hazy marks like this. You'll also see me draw using long, fluid marks. To make these fluid lines, I'm moving my entire arm when I draw, as opposed to my wrist or fingers. At the beginning of the figure drawing process, you'll want to avoid using dark, hard-edged marks like the ones shown here. These kinds of dark marks should be saved until the end of the figure drawing process, or at least until much later. So until I tell you otherwise, you'll want to primarily use soft, fluid mark making. Now on the right side of the page, you'll see me draw the kind of simplified shape that I might use for a torso, using light, fluid, soft lines. If you're here learning figure drawing, you should already know that drawing is a process, and that the first marks we put down, despite our best attempts, are almost certainly going to be inaccurate and require revising. You'll want to get in the habit of making your first lines in a figure drawing as soft and as light as possible. As you move through the drawing process, make distinctions, and begin to revise your initial marks, you can slowly begin to darken and harden your marks with each new attempt. This way, you'll always be able to tell which marks were your earlier and less accurate attempts, and which marks are later and more accurate refinements. For example, take a look at the mark making here. You can tell just by looking that the softer, lighter mark on the left is an earlier and therefore less accurate attempt, while the slightly darker and harder line toward the right is a more accurate refinement. Keeping this system of mark making in mind as you progress through the figure drawing process will remove the burden of you having to remember which attempts were your earlier inaccurate ones and which were more correct refinements. Now let's talk about the level of simplification you'll want to start with. You'll notice that the lines I used to draw this simplified torso shape are not detailed contours. They're simply my first attempts to establish the basic size, shape, and proportions of the torso, with a particular focus on the direction each line is traveling, how long it is, where it is placed, and whether it is straight or curved. It's only when I'm confident that these simple lines are working that I would go over them to draw a darker and more detailed contour. The lighter and softer lines are never intended to be seen by a viewer. They can be easily moved and refined until you arrive at the basic size, shape, and proportions of the figure. Once you're confident that your light, simple lines are accurate, you can then draw nuanced and articulate contour lines right over them, confident that you won't lose sight of the big picture as you focus on the smaller details. But again, I'd like to reiterate that for now, you should only be drawing with soft, light, fluid lines. You won't be drawing with dark lines until much later in the course. To help you better understand the next few key concepts, let's take a look at some more finished gesture drawings. One of the most foundational ideas in gesture drawing is that you're not starting off by drawing the figure itself. Instead, you're trying to capture the movement or action of the pose. Phrases like that, although true, can seem esoteric and confusing, particularly to new students. To help you understand what this means, let's focus on the leg of the figure on the left. Here, you'll see me outline the basic shape of the leg. One of the first and most important things you should learn about the figure is that almost every part of the body is slightly curved, and often extremely curved. For example, in order to draw a line down the center of the long axis of this leg, the line must curve. Now let's take a look at the lower portion of the leg on our far left. Once again, I'll outline the basic shape of the lower portion of the leg. And once again, if we draw a line down the long axis of this part of the leg, we can see that it curves. So in order to capture the movement of a pose in a drawing, instead of starting off by trying to draw the leg itself, you'll instead try and draw how the leg is moving through space. In gesture drawing, you'll often simplify complex forms of the body into these basic directional lines. Even though these curving directional lines are simple, they actually tell us quite a bit about the length, angle, curvature, and placement of the different parts of the body. These kinds of curvatures can be found on nearly every part of the human body. They are often referred to as interior curves. Let's take a look at a few more. We can think of the torso as a two-chambered shape, with the upper chamber containing the rib cage and the lower chamber containing the pelvis. Hopefully, you can already see that this two-chambered shape also appears to be curving. At the very beginning of a gesture drawing, it's incredibly useful to be able to simplify multiple parts of the body into a single line. Here, you can see that the upper and lower portions of the arm simplify into a long curve. One of the biggest mistakes the beginning figure drawing students make is straightening out and stiffening up these beautiful curves of the figure. In fact, figure drawings work best when these subtle curvatures are exaggerated. So later in your practice, feel free to accentuate and even exaggerate these curvatures of the body. Next, let's take a look at the raised arm of this figure. You can see that it's only been drawn using slightly curving directional lines. But I want you to notice that these seemingly simple lines give us quite a bit of information about the size, placement, and position of the arm. Again, these lines are not depicting the arm itself. They are depicting what the arm is doing. The arm is implied rather than stated. It is precisely these kinds of lines and marks that you'll use at the very beginning of the figure drawing process. Lines that tell us what direction the forms of the body are going in the most simple terms possible. If it helps, you can imagine arrows at the end of these lines to remind you that you're not drawing the arm itself at the beginning of a gesture drawing. You're simply drawing the direction the arm is going or how it is moving. And this can be done for all parts of the body. You want to train your brain at first to see the figure as a series of curving directional lines. Now it's critical here to note that these kinds of directional lines are not directly observable on the body. But with some practice, you'll be able to observe and draw these beautiful and dynamic curves that give a sense of action and movement to the figure. Once you can see the curvature of the individual parts of the body, you can begin to find pathways that connect and unify the various curving parts of the body. Once again, you can see me break the body down into a series of individual shapes. A successful gesture line will seem to flow through multiple shapes at once, snaking its way through the body and capturing the curves of the individual shapes. This is called a primary action line, and it's what you'll learn to observe and draw in your first lesson. Once the primary action line has been established, other directional lines can be added to better describe the rest of the pose. Another way you can think of directional gesture lines is if the body is comprised of multiple shapes. A gesture line operates almost like a string that beads them all together. I know I've given you a lot of information, so let me briefly summarize the key concepts that you need to know before you begin your lessons. Start your drawing using light, soft lines. Light and soft lines are easy to change and draw right over. As your drawing progresses, your lines and marks can get darker. Look for the inner or implied curves of the body. Accentuating these curves will add a sense of drama and movement to your gesture drawings. Instead of trying to draw the figure itself, start by drawing what the figure is doing. Try and capture the direction the forms of the body are traveling. And finally, try and unify the various parts of the body using simplified, curvaceous lines. The fewer the better. With these key concepts in mind, you're now ready to begin the figure drawing lessons.
Alright, this is very tempting. It's making me want to draw a figure, so that's what we're gonna do, baby. Let me get back to Photoshop. Line of action. What the fuck? I swear, man. I mean, I appreciate the fact that y'all see this? Alright. So get the whole picture first. Get the whole picture. And another thing that's very interesting that he's almost always using a bean shape for the torso and the not the chest and the pelvis. So bean shape. We're going bean shape, baby. So this is a bean. Right, exaggerate it, it doesn't matter. Exaggerate it and exaggerate this one. This one can be even a little bigger, actually. Fuck! Chicken scratching like a motherfucker. Alright. And then for the legs, he does, I don't know how he does it actually. So I'm just gonna, this is all I noticed. And this, like whatever she's wearing, it's very black. I can't see like what's going on here. But that's okay. Feels very small. Feels like a small leg. That feels a little better. I'm doing like the exact opposite of what what he said I should be doing. Like the exact opposite. But we have the head right here. I'm just always trying to jump into anatomy. Sure. Okay. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't want to see a fucking child. Okay. There. I can call it a day. This is very fun.